you faced situations where there may be bullets coming past your head, you can walk into an office and apply for a job. So we just get them past that hurdle of thinking this is impermeable, this is impossible, and help them to understand that, yes, you can do that. I had a military spouse who had been a stay-at-home mom for 20 years. And she was concerned about coming into the program. And I was like, you can do this. You know, she got her degree while she was off work for those 20 years, saw the children through their educations and off to college. And within 9 months, I kid you not, she secured a certification as a certified associate of project management, secured a job. It was a career for her, so she thought. It was paying maybe 40, 50 grand a year. And then she moved into a next job at the end of that 9-month period, making over $120K a year.
Welcome back to another episode of the Who You Know Show podcast, where what you know is important, but who you know can make all the difference in your business, career, relationships, and life. My name is Trevor Houston, and on this show, you'll learn the strategy, grit, and mindset it takes to overcome obstacles so you can level up in your career, recover your cash flow, and live the life of purpose that God intended for you. Don't forget to look at the mic drop moments time-stamped in the show notes below. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to pay it forward, subscribe, and leave an honest review so we can improve. Thanks for listening. My name is Trevor Houston, and please enjoy this episode of the Who You Know Show.
Angenetta Lambert in the house. She is a program manager for the Onward to Opportunity program at Joint Base San Antonio and Fort Hood, Texas. Could you tell us about the program or what that is and why job seekers need to know about that?
Absolutely. So what we are is a program that offers training at no cost, and we pay for certifications in about 30 different areas for transitioning service members, for veterans, and for military spouses. This includes reservist and National Guard personnel as well. That training lasts for about 12 weeks total. And we pay for them to sit for an industry-recognized certification exam. That could be project management, human resource management, information technology, cybersecurity. We even do a certification for Six Sigma Green Belt. We run the gamut in certifications that we offer, and this is all at no cost. So people often ask me, you know, they're like, what's the catch? I'm like, there is no catch, you know. It sounds too good to be true because it is that good.
It is that.
And it's that truth.
Is there a qualification? Like, do you have to apply and then be qualified and approved to participate? Okay.
There is a process. So we have what we call an information session that lasts for about an hour. And in that process, you are able to ask all kinds of questions as they pertain to the certification that you might be interested in pursuing. Or even if you have career questions, we can help work that out. So most of the time, if people have more extensive questions, then I'll have a one-on-one with them to help them kind of narrow their focus to see what can help them achieve their career goals. After that information session, then you attend what we call Onward to Your Career. And this is comprised of subject matter experts across all industries that actually have certifications in the area you're seeking. Or they can have just a knowledge set that will help set you up for success with your career goals. And after that, then we pay for you to sit for the certification exam. So
wow.
There's an assessment in place just to make sure that you're not overreaching or selling yourself short. You know, if you have no computer knowledge or no acumen, we don't want to send you out for a cyber certification and set you up for failure. So that's kind of the way it works.
So I got two real quick comments here. Don Mason, he says, sweet, I need to re-up my certifications. Brent says, do you do PMP or Agile stuff?
Absolutely. So we have project management professional. We have a certified associate of project management, and then we have the Agile certified practitioner. So we do offer Agile and project management.
Is there any statute of limitations on
No. So that's the beautiful thing about it. I get asked that quite often, you know, well, I got out 15 years ago. And I'm like, that's great. As long as your discharge is honorable, you're eligible for the program.
All right.
So everyone, we even had a Vietnam era veteran that applied because he was still working and he needed a certification in information technology. I'm like, go for it. I've even been asked by spouses, you know, they're like, well, I've been out of work for a while. That's no problem. Have a good story. I know this is me venturing off, but I had a military spouse who had been a stay-at-home mom for 20 years. And she was concerned about coming into the program. And I was like, you can do this. You know, she got her degree while she was off work for those 20 years, saw the children through their educations and off to college. And within 9 months, I kid you not, she secured a certification and as a certified associate of project management, secured a job. It was a career for her, so she thought. It was paying maybe 40, 50 grand a year. And then she moved into a next job at the end of that 9-month period, making over 120K a year. I'm like, I love that.
20 years stay at home, right?
Yeah, she did her due diligence to raise the kids. And
That's
she's
awesome.
Charles Mather says, what is the website? He wants to check it out.
So you can access the website pretty quickly by just Googling Onward to Opportunity. We're the first thing that populates pretty quickly. The first thing that comes up is ivmfsyracuse.edu, and you'll be able to get to our website. So,
What about kids, children?
So we get asked that quite often. That service is not available to the children, but I can tell you the Institute for Veterans and Military Families that Onward to Opportunity falls under has programs and services towards entrepreneurship that every family member can take advantage of, to include the dependent children.
And the Hazlewood Act, right?
The Hazlewood Act is out there for those Texans. Yes, absolutely.
What's the Hazlewood Act?
So the Hazlewood Act is a Texas act that if you are a veteran and you have served and are honorably discharged in Texas, Texas is your home of record, your spouse, your children can qualify for educational benefits. If you, the veteran, are participating, you have to use your GI Bill and college fund, but anything over and above that then is covered by the state. And I think, is there a requirement to go to a state-funded
Absolutely, and they can shift the funds over to the dependent if they don't use them.
Yeah.
So if they're left over, they can't use it doubly, but yes.
What do you think is one of the biggest challenges that military and veterans and people coming that have served getting into civilian world and civilian life? What do you think their biggest challenge is making that transition?
I think the biggest challenge is believing that there's a large challenge. I think it's the self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, we and they, us and them, you know, those civilians, we military. You know, you set up that divide and it becomes a divide. But it's the same thing as if you've been in a relationship for 20 years. You've been at any place of employment for 20 years. That's all you know. So you have to get to learn that other place of employment. You have to get to learn that other environment. And as long as you don't pose it as some big mountain that you can't overcome, then you'll be fine. It's just like any other relationship. And those are the things that I have to encourage people about. You're the job godfather. I'm the job godmother, the fairy godmother. I have to make sure that I nurture the folks into understanding that you can do this. If you've faced situations where, you know, there may be bullets coming past your head, you can walk into an office and apply for a job. Certainly. So we just get them past that hurdle of thinking this is impermeable, this is impossible, and help them to understand that, yes, you can do that.
That was powerful. Okay. So I think it's important when you are speaking, the tongue is a double-edged sword, right? You can speak life and you can speak death.
Yes.
Right. And the things that you speak out can become your reality.
Absolutely.
And so if you're saying, I can't do this, or remember you were saying the dividing words, them, those people, all of that.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. That's becoming your reality.
Absolutely.
You'll never, the mountain is too high. So I love what you were saying because you're the godmother speaking the life into people's life, saying you can do this. You took gunshots, like people were shooting.
Yeah.
Were you crazy?
Yeah. You had your life on the line there. Here, it's just a job.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you work closely with the TAP program.
Yes.
Which, I'll just be nice. It has its pros and cons, right?
Correct.
What do you do as far as that relationship goes?
So the beautiful thing about it is that we were established to work in conjunction with the TAP program.
Okay.
We were meant to supplement, augment, accent everything that they do. I'm understanding that they're under the federal mandates and some of the governmental processes that are in place may not permit them to spend as much time with each individual as they would like. You know, that happens. So there are different little segments that have to be fulfilled. in such a short period of time. So that's not a knock at the program. It works in the capacity that it can work. So we are there to fill in any gaps if necessary, but also to help nurture people towards the success that they would love to achieve. And, so, however it can formulate itself, whether it's bringing clarity to something that's cloudy, or if they want more time in an area that TAP was able to cover, then we'll do that. But we work in conjunction with them and work well with them.
To clarify, TAP is Transition Assistance Program.
Yes.
For you non-veterans out there.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a program that you go through when you're out processing. So how's the program funded?
I'm so glad you asked, because people go, what? How can this be free? So we have our initial funding for the Institute for Veterans and Military Families from J.B. Morgan Chase and Company.
Okay.
So they gave an initial huge amount to us back in 2011 when the IVMF got started. Onward to Opportunity got its start in 2015 with the funding from the Schultz Family Foundation, Howard and Sherry Schultz, Howard Schultz being the former CEO of Starbucks. So nice. That's how we got our funding. And there are other funders that are in place, specifically here in San Antonio, like USAA. They've given a substantial amount to keep our program going at several installations. And then we have the Walmart Foundation, which has given a significant amount as well. So
there's also a program up here and they're national, but it's called Project Relo.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it through the United Way of Tarrant County.
And they train CEOs
yes.
on hiring veterans. So,
don't they take them out and like make them shoot a bunch of guns and do crazy stuff?
Well, they take the CEOs up to a boot camp up in Michigan.
Make them go through like a boot camp.
And they get them a taste of,
a taste of what is really
what veterans have gone through.
Okay.
And so I think he has actually maybe transitioned, but he's still tied in with the program. Casey McCune is the gentleman up here. Are you connected with Casey?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go.
It's all about who you know.
There you go. It's all
about It is.
He's very passionate about it. And then we used to have our show at a radio station. Mark Warner was the owner of that station. He's also involved. We'll connect you with him too.
Okay.
So
Thanks. I love all of those connections, however I can help.
So it doesn't matter if you're fresh out, 15 years, 20 years out.
Nope.
I mean, you can join the program if you qualify and get accepted. Okay.
Yes. The only thing that would disqualify you is a dishonorable discharge. But there's so many other programs and services in place that we can connect you to for those folks that may not have received an honorable discharge. And that's another beautiful part of the program that I love. Every resource that I have, I can use to connect the folks to something that will help set them up for success, whatever their gauge and their measure of success is. So it could not be quick employment. It could be something to get them from point A to point B. I just need this quick job. If I have the resource, I can connect them with it. So however I can support, that's part of my life's passion.
I love it. All right, couple of rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
All right, rapid fire. Biggest mistakes you're seeing job seekers making right now?
Ill preparedness, no research. Isn't this the place that does this? What you got for veterans at a job fair? Those types of things. Big mistakes. Yeah.
All right. Biggest tip for job seekers?
Research. That helps you develop a passion. I know one is connected to the other, but the more research you do, you'll start to understand whether or not this is a good fit for you. So that attrition rate, I hate that number. And they're like, oh, you'll change jobs 2 or 3 times. I don't like that stigma that's attached to veterans. Because I think with an informed decision that can be planned strategically and it won't be viewed as an attrition rate, but you've made a conscious decision to move to the next step because you planned for it, rather than I hate this job and I quit.
Well, they say nowadays that people are transitioning, forget military for a second, every 3 to 5 years or whatever. Anyway, so it's like I think corporate America has changed a lot, and it's kind of sad, really. The old days of working 25, 30 years at a company, gold watch and a pension.
Yes.
Those days are gone.
Passe,
The average tenure right here in Dallas, you do not want me to share that number.
Now, you had mentioned subject matter experts, right, that are involved in the program. Do you see relationships bonding with participants and subject matter experts? As mentorship, maybe relationships?
We have 3 programs that we deal with. One is a corporate partner, and we have a relationship with American Corporate Partners. But there are others like Veterati out there that help establish those mentorships with the participants that we have. But separate and apart from that, when we have someone come in and speak, whether it's virtually or in person, those relationships do develop, and they usually pan out to long-standing careers in certain industries or with certain companies. As you mentioned, the 2 to 3 year rule that is now kind of the norm, folks will move throughout a company with that mentorship that they develop. I've seen it happen across industries. Folks will meet some person from this particular industry, they introduce them to another one, and then they end up making more money than the person that did the introduction. But it's all about who you know. But it's a beautiful thing that develops out of that. So yes, I do see them develop quite often. Yes.
Plug the website again.
Yes.
And your name so we get people on LinkedIn and
yes, Angenetta Lambert. I am on LinkedIn. I'm the only Angenetta Lambert on LinkedIn. Onward to Opportunity Program and the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. With the Institute for Veterans and Military Families, we have some entrepreneurship programs in place as well. So we usually make those connections if folks are on a path for certifications as well.
Fantastic program.
Yes, and my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the Who You Know Show podcast. My name is Trevor Houston, and if you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing wherever you listen and leave us a positive review to help us keep the mics on in the studio. Until next week, that's the show. It's all about Who You Know.